Hello, everybody. How you doing out there today? Welcome to the House of Common Sense. I'm your host, Bobby Collier, coming to you live today out of Tampa, Florida, here at Sleep Number with a load of products here where they make the Sleep Number bed, which is a pretty good bed. My subject for today is all trucking companies. Well, let me put it this way. Most trucking companies got some shit with them. Okay? Most trucking companies got some shit with them. Right? Whether you just started driving, whether you've been out here for a while, most drivers will testify that a lot of companies, most of these companies out here, they got some bullshit with them. And most of that bullshit falls back on the driver. That's why we have owner operators. Owner operators got tired of the bullshit from the trucking companies that they worked for. So they decided to get their own truck and drive for themselves. And still, they get jacked up by the brokers and the shippers. And it's all about money. A broker will try to broker load off in you as low as he possibly can. Because, see, a broker don't have that much investment. He just got an MC number, which costs him about $300. A good computer, which probably costs him about $6. A good printer, which is about $3. Okay? And he just need an office to work out of, which can be a room in his house. All right? So, 340 MC number, about 300 for a printer, that's 600. About 600 for a good computer, that's 1,200. See, with an owner operator, depending on how he want to rock, whether he want to rock with a new truck or used truck, he's going to have a whole lot more invested just to get started. Just to get started. So who needs to make the most of the money? Is the owner operator rather than the broker and the shippers. Because that owner operator or that driver is carrying that load down the road. They work 24/7. Now, being a company driver is a step below being an owner operator. A lot of companies, they advertise on Facebook and YouTube, newspapers, magazines, all right? And a lot of companies, they're offering anywhere from 65 to 70 to 80 cents a mile. Now, a couple of questions you should ask a company before you go to work for them. How many terminals do they have? And the reason why you need to ask them that question is because if they don't have a lot of terminals, that means they don't have that much drop and hook. So yeah, you paying me 70 cents a mile, or maybe 75, maybe 80 cents a mile, but am I getting the miles? All right, or am I spending a lot of time, or am I losing a lot of time loading and unloading? Now, some companies do not pay attention if you're sitting at a shipper or a consignee getting loaded or unloaded. And some companies get paid for the attention, but they don't pass it on to the driver. See, a lot of shippers and consignee you be sitting there all day waiting to get loaded or unloaded. Well, the new hours of service, your money stops once you get to a shipper or receiver. Their money is still going on. The only thing that's happening to you as the driver or the owner-operator is that you're losing time off of your 14-hour-a-day clock. Hold on a minute. All right. I'm back. That was the consignee telling me that I'm empty. So while you sitting at that ship or that receiver, if you're not getting attention after 2 hours, now, standard rule is that the shipper or the consignee have 2 hours to get you loaded or unloaded. Well, it don't really take that long to load or unload a truck at folks' work and stop bullshit. Right. Hold on, y'all. Let me right here now and close my doors. Be right back. So as I was saying, if you're not getting attention pay, well, you're losing 2 hours off of your clock to be loaded or unloaded. And like I said, it really don't take 2 hours to load or unload a truck at folks' work. But nevertheless, a lot of shippers and receivers, they take 2 hours just for the sake of taking 2 hours. All right. Well, that holds you up. You done lost 2 hours off of your clock. You can only drive 11. You can be on duty as long as you want to, but after 14 hours, combination of driving and on duty not driving, you can't drive. Well, the money is in driving. Now, detention pay for most companies starts after 2 hours. I forgot I got to put in my daggone whatchamajig here. My workflow here. Yeah, everything is computerized now, so you gotta let them know that you're leaving. Let me know. I'll do my paperwork when I get to the shipper. Cause I gotta run down here to the brewery complex and pick up a load of beer. I want to do a video on how to haul beer.
Turn right on Madison Avenue.
Because everybody can't haul beer. But anyway, the consignee and the shipper, their time's still going on. They're still getting paid.
Turn right on Madison Avenue.
You, the driver, your money stops once you get to the consignee or the shipper, unless they're going to pay you. Unless they're going to pay you detention. But even if you do get detention, it's only after you've been sitting there for 2 hours. So, hell or high water, you're still going to lose 2 hours.
Of a mile. Turn right on South 50th Street.
And if they're not paying you detention pay, you could lose more than that. The companies that are paying the high mileage, like 65 to 70 to 80 cents a mile, most of those companies have got slow trucks. All right?
In 1/2 mile, turn right on South 50th Street.
If you're getting 75 cents a mile, all right, that's good pay. All right, that's $750 for 1,000 miles. All right, but they put you in a 65 miles per hour truck. Yeah. Yeah. Now that truck that they put you in, oh, it's got all the bells and whistles. They make sure that you're comfortable because they know your ass gonna be sitting in that seat for a long time. So they got flat screen television, Wi-Fi, that big SXM radio, okay, inverter.
Turn right on South 50th Street.
Oh, they got all the bells and whistles in that truck. Nice seat, nice arm rest and everything, you know. Yeah. But guess what? All right. It's slow. Truck pretty truck. Nice Kenworth, Freightliner, Peterbilt, Mack, okay, International.
Miles. Turn left on Selman Expressway, Joel West.
Real nice truck. But It's slow. Alright? It's gonna take you a minute to get where you're going. Everything on the road is gonna pass you. Alright? You sit in that seat for 10 hours, 11 hours, you might get 500 miles. Okay? Depending on what kind of load you got. If your load is real light, you might get 500 miles. So see, they still shitting you. They still shitting on you. Okay? They're paying you high mileage, but they put you in a slow truck. See, most companies got some bullshit with them. All right, now you take like the trucking companies in the South, in South Carolina. Most of those trucking companies don't want to pay you no more than about 65 cents a mile. Make no difference how much experience you got. They don't want to give up at 65 cents a mile. Okay? Because South Carolina have always been a slave mentality state. Now, working for a black owner-operator is one of the hardest things I had to go through, is working for a black owner-operator that got a couple trucks. They got all kind of effed up rules. I went to work for one black company. He was paying 65 cents a mile. He had some old raggedy trucks. Alright? You know, it sounded like a wagon going down the road. Everything on it was old freight shaker. And everything was rattling on it. It was old. It was about a 2008, you know. And, you know, a 2008 freight shaker is wore out. I mean, it just flapping, all shit, noise as hell. Okay, you couldn't talk on the phone like I'm talking now. Okay, without hearing something flapping. He had all kind of crazy ass rules. See, one thing about a black-owned company, they always will tell you, if you do this, we're gonna take this. The white boy operates this a little bit different. He'll say, if you do this, I will reward you. Okay. You know, this particular company, I'm not going to call his name. He's a nice man. I read it. I like him, but he has crazy rules and ragged ass equipment. All right. He said, well, we're going to take $100 out of your check every week until it reach $1,500, just in case you tear up something. What? So what now? Yeah. We'll take $100 out of your check a week. Okay. And put it in an escrow till it accumulates $1,500. And if you tear up something,
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left.
or put a
on
dent
Salmon
or scratch on
Expressway
my
to the
truck
west.
or my trailer, we're going to use that $1,500 to fix whatever you tear up. And if it take all that $1,500, oh well, you just have to start all over again. All right. So anything that you tear up, or if you have an accident, and it was your fault, you're gonna lose that $1,500. Well, the white boy don't have no rules like that. Okay? White boy will tell you, said, all right, if you drive safe and you don't have no accidents, all right, I'm gonna give you this. Rather than saying, I'm gonna take this from you. Now he gonna take from you too, but he just gonna take from you in a different way, because he put all that shit on the truck, all them electronic gadgets, where it monitor whether you brake hard or whether you was following too close. See, he got all that bullshit on this truck. You know, so he got that camera on there, you know, where he can see what you're doing all the time.
Turn left on Selman Expressway, Joel West.
You know. So he gonna take from you too, because if you brake too hard, all right, he gonna get an alert that you broke too hard, and he gotta find out, why did you brake that hard? Were you paying attention? You know, woo, woo, woo. And somebody might have pulled out in front of you, all right? And you had to put the brakes on real hard. Or somebody might have took your 4-second firing distance from you, and he get an alert that you,
3/4 of a mile. Take exit 10 on the right.
that you're following
2-4 west.
too close. You know. So it's many ways to lose your safety bonus with all these electronic gadgets on the truck. So he gonna take from you too, but he just do it a little bit different from that black man.
Take exit 10 on the right. 2-4 west.
You know. So all trucking companies, well, let me not say all, most trucking companies, they got some crap with them. And most of the crap falls on the driver. Now, with all this electronic stuff they got in the truck, it's about like having a supervisor sitting over here beside you. Right? Because if you swerve too hard, it picks it up. If you're following too close, it picks it up. And if you're speeding, it picks it up. All right? If the speed limit 55 and you're going 65, all right, your boss man or your driver manager, he knows it.
In 1.5 miles, take the exit on the right to I-275 north toward Ocala.
Yeah. So driving now is a whole lot different from driving 20 years ago. You know, a lot of those big companies that they paying you 75 cents a mile. All right, but are you getting the miles? You know, 75 cents a mile, you know, it's good, but how many miles you gonna get a week? You know? Are they gonna keep you rolling on the weekend? Are you gonna be sitting at a truck stop somewhere? And you got a slow truck. You got a slow truck. You got to sit in that seat for 11 hours just to get 500 miles. So they give you high mileage on the pay, but put you in a slow ass truck. So I can be making 60 cents a mile and have an 80 mile per hour truck, and you making 75 cents a mile, and you got a 65 miles per hour truck. I make just as much money as you. Because while I'm riding along, I can
Take the exit on the right.
I can maintain.
I-275 north toward Ocala.
Okay, 70 miles per hour. You know, I put my truck on cruise and maintain 70 miles per hour for about 5 or 6 hours. I pass you, stop at the truck stop, fuel, get me a sandwich, take my 30-minute break, and still get back out there and pass you again, and you ain't even stop and rest yet. So that's why they had to make it mandatory for a driver to take a 30-minute break after 8 hours of driving. It should have been an hour break after 8 hours of driving. Because if 8 hours of driving and you got a slow truck, it wears you out. You need an hour break after you've been driving a 65 miles per hour truck for 8 hours, especially if it's manual and you know, you got a lot of hills to climb. You're gonna stay in that gearbox. But with this truck right here, you know, it's automatic. Well, I'm an old man. I'm 68 years old. All right, now I can drive.
4.5 miles. Take exit 50 on the right.
I can drive any of them.
State Route 580.
9-speed, 10-speed, Super 10, 13, or 18. I can drive all of them. But comfortable with an automatic. All right, it saves me a lot of work. Now, if I was a younger man, if I was in my 40s and 50s, okay, then yeah, I'd rather have a manual. You know, especially if it's a good running truck, I'd rather have a manual. So you need an 8-hour break if you got a manual, or if you got an automatic and your truck cut back to 65. You know. So that's why we're short of drivers out here. It's about 80,000 drivers short in the trucking industry. And that's because all the bullshit that these companies got with them. You know, they can't keep drivers. Driver work for them a month or two, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. Shit, they get tired of their bullshit and say, you know, they're gone. You know, but most companies, they got some bullshit with them, and that bullshit always fall back on the driver. They'll blow a lot of smoke up your ass in orientation. Okay? And you'll think they're the best company in the world. All that smoke, they'll blow up your ass in orientation. But when you get out here on the road, you'll find out that a lot of stuff that they said in orientation, all right, it was just words. That's all it was. Now, there's a few good companies out here, but they're very few, they're far. You know, they're far and few. I just started working for this company. I'm just checking them out. Okay. So far, they've been all right. But I'm gonna see how my first paycheck look. You see, at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line. Okay? You know, you've got to keep me moving. I don't want to be sitting around the truck stops. All right? I don't want to sit at no shipper or receiver no more than 2 hours. I don't want to stay there 2 hours. All right. I'd rather you have